Hey guys, what's up? It's munclesonkey. So, in this video, I finally finished this Slayer spreadsheet that I told you guys about a long time ago. I said I'm redoing the entire thing. I'm going to be testing every task from Kurodel that's worth doing, all the XP rates, and showing them to you guys, and also giving you a full skip and block list for Kurodel. So what tasks you should be doing, what tasks you shouldn't be doing, and some tasks that you get to choose for yourself, to be completely honest. So I just want to give you a disclaimer. In this video, I'm mostly just going to be going over information, and it's not going to be all that interesting to watch. However, if you do need information for Slayer, it will probably be very helpful. The second thing I want to mention is all of these XP rates were tested by me, which means that tasks that drop a lot of items, such as like mutated Jadenkos that drop a lot of herbs and stuff, I pick all of that up, and that is factored into the XP per hour rate, because these XP per hour rates, or first of all, when I initially started testing them, were all just for my own reference, and I decided to share them with you guys. So if you do not pick up drops and such, first of all, that's kind of inefficient, and second of all, your XP per hour rates might be slightly faster than mine. Just keep that in mind. And finally, I just wanted to say I'm sorry it took so long to get this out, but the main reason was this lady right here would not assign me a Water Fiends task. It took so long to finally get one. And I couldn't really test out Water Fiends not off task because it's faster with the Slayer Helm bonus, so I had to wait until I got a Water Fiends task to test them out, and oh boy, I'm glad I did, because they are amazing. But anyway, yeah, I'll just go over the list now, and there will be a link to it in the description if you want to view it yourself. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, and let's get into the information. And we are back. So here is the completed thing. First of all, I color coordinated all of the tasks to show you what you should be doing. The ones in blue are the ones that you should be using Chaotic Staff against. The ones in orange you should be using drygores against. The ones in green, now this is a bit of a change. I tested these with Ascensions, so these are worth doing with Ascensions. Essentially green means range. However, if you do not have Ascensions, Necrials, right here, this task, do that with melee. Spiritual Mages, do that with Chaotic Staff. Kriara, do that with Chaotic Staff. And Ascension monsters, if you choose to do them with your best range weapon. So yeah, if you do not have Ascension crossbows, you should not be ranging any tasks except for Ascension monsters, because Chaotic Staff is better against Kriara unless you have the Ascension crossbows, which I know most people don't. But anyway, as you can see, for the most part, it's more efficient to mage than melee. There are a couple tasks which are just about the same XP rate with mage as in with melee, which are Erits and Black Demons. However, I choose to mage them because it's about the same XP rate per hour as with melee, and magic costs a lot less because the drygores are quite expensive to recharge. Also, if you don't have drygores, you should just be using magic against every single task. You can use magic against Kirill, Greater Demons, basically the Zami task, quite easily. Magic works against QBD, however, you don't have drygores, it's going to be a little bit slower. You can still do it with Chaotic Staff, though. Magic is pretty good against automatons. It's definitely a task that's worth doing. I mean, it's much slower with magic than it is with melee, just because they have so much HP, but it's still worth doing. And of course, Abyssal Demons magic works just fine against these. Even though the melee is slightly faster with Abyssal Demons, I still choose to use magic against them because, well, it's not much slower at all, and I'd rather have the defense XP than the attack XP, to be completely honest. So anyway, I mean, this is the main sheet itself. Here's the block list right here, so never do any of these tasks. They're not worth doing. The only tasks here that are kind of decent XP per hour, like Fire Giants, are decent. I just personally hate them with a passion. And Desert Strike Worms are decent. And yeah, that's it. Out of those tasks, all the rest are terrible XP per hour, and you should not be doing them. Here are some tasks. I just created these lists this morning just for a bit of help for you guys. For which of the tasks you want to focus on. If you're focusing on Slayer XP, these are the top 10 tasks here, Water Fiends being the best Slayer XP in the game by a long shot. Best task for Combat XP, Fight Cauldron, because you can do Fight Cauldron with the Desire task, which I do, just because it's exceptional Combat XP. It's not great Slayer XP, it's about 60k an hour, but it is amazing Combat XP, so that's why I do it. And the best task for Prophet, of course, QBD tasks being number 1. You know, just the best. Calphite King task being number 2. Dagged King task being number 3. I would highly recommend to do all of these if you have the stats. If you have lower stats, this guide might not be super helpful for you because all these XP rates are tested with high stats, but I assume most of you either have higher stats and better weapons or are going to get them pretty soon in the future, so there's not really much point testing this out with lower weapons. So yeah, those are the best tasks if you just want to focus on money. Those are the tasks that you want to be doing. One thing I did want to say as a disclaimer is for these tasks, what I used extremes and turmoil for all the tasks, except for Dagonoth Kings. You don't use turmoil with Dagonoth Kings because you just run out of prayer, because the point is you want to stay there solo for 4 hours, and if you use turmoil you won't be able to do that. You'll just run out of prayer. But some of these tasks like water fiends, spiritual mages, what else? Gargoyles and automatons were tested using a steel titan as well. So if you don't have a steel titan, it's going to be a little bit slower for you. I would highly recommend, if you do have a steel titan, definitely use them at water fiends, spiritual mages, and gargoyles. They weren't so great at automatons. But yeah, they can also be better at these other monsters, but the reason why I didn't use them at other monsters is because I was using a yak to bank drops at other monsters. I guess they might be useful like ice strike worms as well. But yeah, I just wanted to bank drops with the yak, so that's why I didn't use them. But other than that, all these XP rates should be fairly accurate. Just remember that the range here, unless you have Ascension crossbows, this will be worthless to you, so just kind of disregard it. I imagine that most of you do not have Ascension crossbows. But I made this guide keeping in mind that you're probably around combat level 200, have drygores and or a chaotic staff, preferably a chaotic staff. If you want to know what to spend your money on, if you plan on going for 99 Slayer, I'd highly recommend getting chaotic staff first, and then spending all your money on prayer to unlock soul split and turmoil, and then do warbands to get herblore. That's the most efficient way to do it. The reason why I said earlier, I'm sure a lot of people will try to fight me on this, is I said it's inefficient to leave drops on the ground and power slay. I've had a lot of arguments with people in the past over power slaying. Is it efficient or not? The only time power slaying is efficient is if you have enough money to afford everything that you need in the game already, which I imagine that most people do not. There are a lot of like top pagers and stuff that power slay for Slayer XP, but they have bills and can afford all the Bibles anyway, so that's fine for them. But for the average player, you're going to need money. And let me ask you this: is it more efficient to cannon black dragons in the evil chicken lair for your black dragons task, and lose money on that task, and then have to go make money for Bible skills later? Or is it more efficient to kill QBD on your black dragons task, get slower XP rates for Slayer, but get much faster QBD kills, and pretty much make the best money in the game? Because I don't think there is a faster money making method in the game than killing QBD on Slayer task with drygores, unless there are a few instances, like if you have a really good Rise of the Six team. But for the average player, the money is not ever going to get better than killing QBD on a Slayer task. That's the best money in the game for the average player. So stuff like that, you got to think, like Daggy Kings, they're still pretty darn good Slayer XP, and they're like 6 mil an hour solo if you are doing it in max gear. So just stuff like that, it's so efficient to do it on Slayer task and also make money. That it's just so much more efficient than to power slay and then go make money in the long run. You save yourself a lot of time by not power slaying. So that's why I'd recommend to do that. Again, thanks for watching this video. I know there's a lot of information covered. Hopefully I covered everything that you guys would have questions about anyway, but if you want, just ask any additional questions you have down in the comments and I'll answer them. But yeah, just check out the link in the description. It should take you right to this page, and yeah, farewell.